They were beautiful, wealthy, and reckless, drifting through the jazz age as if consequences were for other people. And in the center of their glittering world stood one man who believed that money could bend time itself. He reached across the water toward a single green light, convinced that hope alone could reshape reality. This is the Great Gatsby, and why its tragedy still defines America. In the summer of 1922, a young bond salesman named Nick Carraway moves from the Midwest to Long Island, drawn by the excitement and opportunity of New York during the Roaring Twenties. Nick rents a modest house in West Egg, a newly fashionable community filled with ambitious newcomers who have recently earned their fortunes. Across the bay lies East Egg, home to families whose wealth has existed for generations. Next door to Nick stands an enormous mansion that seems permanently illuminated. It belongs to Jay Gatsby, a man whose weekend parties attract hundreds of strangers, yet whose personal life remains shrouded in mystery. One night, Nick sees Gatsby standing alone at the end of his dock, stretching his arms toward a distant green light glowing across the water. That light belongs to someone Gatsby has never stopped loving. Across the bay lives Nick's cousin, Daisy Buchanan, with her husband, Tom Buchanan. Tom is powerful, physically imposing, and deeply entitled. He carries the arrogance of inherited wealth and openly expresses racist and elitist views that reflect the prejudices of his time. Daisy, by contrast, appears charming and luminous, her voice described as being full of money. Yet beneath her brightness lies restlessness and dissatisfaction. Their marriage is already fractured. Tom maintains an affair with Myrtle Wilson, the wife of a struggling garage owner named George Wilson, who lives in the bleak industrial wasteland between Long Island and New York City, known as the Valley of Ashes. Through Nick's observant perspective, we begin to see the sharp division between appearance and reality. East Egg glitters with elegance, but beneath its surface lies carelessness and moral emptiness. Gatsby's parties are extravagant spectacles of the jazz age. Guests arrive uninvited in gleaming cars, drink bootlegged champagne, and dance beneath chandeliers while orchestras play late into the night. Rumors swirl about their mysterious host. Some claim he was a German spy during the war. Others whisper that he once killed a man. No one seems certain. When Nick finally meets Gatsby, he is surprised. Gatsby is not loud or domineering. Instead, he is intensely focused, polite, and possessed of a smile that makes others feel uniquely understood. Eventually, Gatsby reveals the truth. Years earlier, before World War I, he fell in love with Daisy. At the time, he was a poor young officer with ambition but no fortune. Daisy, accustomed to wealth and stability, ultimately married Tom while Gatsby was overseas. Everything Gatsby has built, the mansion, the parties, the carefully crafted identity, exists for one purpose: to win Daisy back. He does not merely want her love. He wants to recreate the past exactly as it was. At Gatsby's request, Nick arranges a reunion between Gatsby and Daisy at his cottage. The meeting begins with visible nervousness. Gatsby, usually composed, seems shaken by anticipation. But as they talk, memories return. The emotional distance between them narrows. When Daisy sees Gatsby's mansion, she is overwhelmed by the scale of his success. She weeps over his expensive shirts, a moment that captures both her emotional intensity and her deep attachment to material wealth. For a time, it appears that Gatsby's dream may be possible. Yet Daisy lives in a world defined by security and social position. Gatsby believes that love can erase the intervening years. Daisy is less certain. The dream begins to strain under reality. The tension erupts during a sweltering afternoon in a New York hotel suite. Tom confronts Gatsby directly, accusing him of trying to destroy his marriage. Gatsby insists that Daisy never loved Tom and demands that she declare it openly. Under pressure, Daisy falters. She admits that she once loved Gatsby, but she cannot deny that she also loved Tom. Tom then exposes Gatsby's criminal associations, suggesting that his wealth was built through bootlegging and illegal connections. Gatsby's carefully constructed image begins to collapse. He has accumulated immense wealth, but he cannot buy acceptance in a world that values inherited status over self-made fortune. In this moment, Gatsby's dream begins to unravel. Driving back from the city in Gatsby's bright yellow car, Daisy strikes Myrtle Wilson on the road and kills her instantly. Gatsby takes responsibility, determined to protect Daisy at any cost. George Wilson, devastated by his wife's death, searches for the driver of the car. Tom directs him toward Gatsby, deflecting blame from Daisy and himself. The moral contrast becomes clear. Gatsby, for all his illusions, is willing to sacrifice himself for love. The Buchanans retreat into their wealth, insulated from consequence. Gatsby waits outside Daisy's house that night, believing she will choose him. She does not. The following day, George Wilson arrives at Gatsby's mansion. He shoots Gatsby beside his swimming pool, then turns the gun on himself. The mansion that once pulsed with music and celebration now stands silent. Nick struggles to organize Gatsby's funeral, but almost none of the party guests attend. The crowds who eagerly consumed his hospitality vanish when faced with responsibility. In death, Gatsby's loneliness becomes undeniable. At the novel's conclusion, Nick prepares to leave the East and return to the Midwest, disillusioned by the carelessness and moral emptiness he has witnessed. The novel, written in 1925, captures the restless ambition of the Jazz Age, a period defined by reinvention, excess, and fragile dreams. Gatsby believed in the green light across the water. It symbolized hope, ambition, and the possibility that tomorrow could redeem yesterday. But the past cannot be perfectly reclaimed. Time moves forward, even when memory pulls us backward. Nick reflects that we are like boats against the current, striving endlessly toward the future while being borne back into the past. And so the green light continues to glow, beautiful, distant, and forever just out of reach.